How does one make a wish? Can I answer the question? Maybe. I don't know. But maybe if you listen to what I'm saying, maybe it sparks an idea, an answer for you that you maybe can come back and answer the question better for me or even someone else. Anyway, little story because I've got a few videos. I get everything I want, which is true. And then I was like, stop with the ego because that's what happens is, and it's not so much my ego, it's just I'm tired of trying to boost other people. Not in that sense. It's like if I'm trying to tell you you can do this and you can do that and you just don't believe me, after a while I'm probably gonna stop. After a while I'm probably gonna stop. So I got a video, I get what I want, and another one, we get what we want. Like always. Like always. So why haven't you got the big mansion? Why haven't you got all the 10 Lamborghinis? Again, I can't necessarily answer that one, but just maybe, what I say sparks something in you to give you the answer. So I woke up. Wasn't my first thought, but I had an epiphany. Those of you that might know me from before, I don't know if I met you as a rapper outside somewhere. But however you know me, I'm quite blessed. I'm quite blessed. If I get everything I want, how am I not blessed? So I'm quite blessed, right? And I was looking at it, I think from yesterday or whatever, or just recently, that I've lived many lives. It's mad crazy. I've lived many lives. So being a child and being this, being a student in school, being a worker, doing my paper rounds at early ages, and then like I'm a father, hustling on the streets. But for me, how I perceive them and how I tend to look at them now is that they're all different lives. That they're all different versions of me. Like I say, maybe we shouldn't be allowed to be posting our thoughts on social media and stuff. But hey, if not for that, then I'm just sitting there talking to myself, not necessarily out loud, but I'm talking to myself. Like so many conversations go on, and from an early stage, I've admittedly said, "Yeah, I'm more than one person. I've got multiple personalities." And then one of my daughter said to me, "Yeah, like I'm a different dad to each of my children." So yeah, that is mad crazy. It's mad crazy, but it's just kind of true. It's kind of true. So all the different lives I've lived, one of them, I was a bus driver. Enjoyed it for the most part, but yeah, I'm more like being independent. So yeah, that is what it is. Anyhow, alright, so let me give you a breakdown of the bus driving story. So I hadn't been working, which yeah, I didn't really feel no big way about it, but I was like, you know what, let me give it another shot. Because I'd worked and not worked, and I'd reached a stage where I was like, nah, let me give it another shot. And I was trying to break it down, or what would I feel comfortable doing for a very long time. And I don't know what my big list was, but my short list came down to being a barber, cutting hair, or a bus driver. And then even the whole being a bus driver thing is crazy, people, man. Being a bus driver, see, I gotta take you way back. I gotta take you way back to maybe 7-year-old me. 7-year-old me lives in Jamaica. I live in England now, but 7-year-old me lives in Jamaica, and 7-year-old me goes to church every Sunday. Not by choice, but hey, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So 7-year-old me living in Jamaica, going to church every Sunday. It was kind of cool still. Like everything's kind of cool in it. Like we can see everything is horrible. We can try and see a cool side of it, a good side of it. So going to church every Sunday. I think it was once a year we did the picnic, but then we had another event or a couple other events. But yeah, we'll just remember what interests us or what we liked. I'm understanding. We're not going to remember every little detail of our life. So maybe they had a few other events, but the picnic was yeah. talking about church, and let me not swear, but it was the thing. It was the thing. Um, so if you can imagine a decent sized church, and not everybody goes to the picnic, but most of us are. So then we would go. We're in the Kingston, in the city capital, whatever. So we'd kind of go to the countryside, have this picnic. So with so many people going, we'd need multiple buses. I don't know if one time I actually heard them, whether at the start or at the end or whatever it was, or I just imagined it. But a couple of the coach drivers would race. They would race to the spot. They would race to the spot. So yeah, like I said, whether my imagination, whether I overheard them talking, because yeah, they wouldn't have told me that. If anything, I would have overheard it. And yeah, my little 7-year-old self was like, yo, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Because yeah, I ain't know nothing about F1 and them things, like 7-year-old me in Jamaica. There weren't no F1. I was like, that's cool. I'd like to do that. So fast forward back to when did I become a bus driver? 7 years ago. So I'm 43 or something, 42, 43, whatever it is, whatever it is. So look at that. 35 years had gone past. 35 years, from me looking at the coach bus drivers and saying, yo, that's cool. That's cool. I'd like to do that. So I'm 42, not working. I'm like, bam, bam, bam. What would I want to do? Or what can I stomach doing for a very long time? Bus driver, won out. So then I was like, all right, bam. I started the process. I don't know how it worked out, if I asked whatever first or if I just went and applied for a job. Because I looked and they were giving training. You need a different license and stuff, or addition to your license to be a bus driver. You can't just use your car license and be a bus driver. I already had my car license. So yeah, however it worked out. But then I needed some books, got the books, passed the test. And even the theory test was kind of cool because all the online stuff, like I practice. And with me, when I go for tests and stuff, like I appreciate the fact that I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to get 100%. So in that sense, it gives me, like, I go in less stress, less anxious, less whatever, because I'm like, well, I don't have to get it perfect. I just have to get so much, right? So that's cool. So then, yeah, the theory test I kind of sailed through, but then the practical test, the driving part of the test, again, one of my wishes maybe in determination of stuff where it worked out in total, and I didn't get it, like I never got an hour to drive the bus in learning how to drive the bus because there's quite a few of us on a bus and we take turns. Yeah, so I just never got an hour period, like in one sitting behind the wheel driving the bus. And in total, I only had 6 hours worth of driving. Like a lot of me learning to driving was probably spent sleeping on the bus. It's crazy. But I weren't the only one. It's just what it was, man. And I tend to, yeah, when I'm not driving, and I'm in a vehicle, I tend to fall asleep. It's me. Hey, it is what it is. So yeah, from just sleeping in the bus, and not all the time because I did learn while other people are driving. Like it's you can see what they're doing good and you can see what they're doing bad if you're observant enough and analytic enough, and you can learn. Like I possibly, well, not yeah, I definitely possibly could have learned without going behind the wheel. I kind of could have learned. There was enough information there. Definitely enough information there. So kind of from sleeping on the bus, one day I'm woken up or whatever, or I come in the morning and I'm told, yeah, you're gonna have your test in a day or two, or whatever it was. I can't remember, and yeah, I like to be as truthful as possible. So I can't remember, but it was maybe like in 2 days' time I'm gonna take my test. Like, and I'm saying, but I haven't had any lessons though. Like, what's good? Like, because most people, they will try and give you a certain amount of hours before you took the test, or at least You know, maybe you're a natural and after an hour they see that, nah, you know what, you can drive the bus, take the test. But generally they try and give you a certain amount of hours. And it wasn't six. Again, I can't remember, but it might have been 10, 15 or whatever, whatever. And I was like, yeah, got to take my test in 2 days. So I was like, all right, cool, no dramas. Can't remember again if the test was the same as the car driving test, as in how much, but it probably was, or very similar, how many mistakes you're allowed. Because remember, I don't go into tests trying to be perfect and get 100%. I go into tests trying to pass them, right? So I went in and I'm like, yeah, the morning had come and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do any majors. Any majors fails you the test, right? So I'm not gonna run anybody over. I'm not gonna crash the bus, blah, 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 blah. The minors, I think it was a case where I was allowed to do 16 or something minors, mid-teens somewhere, or even high teens. So I was like, all right, cool, man. And I didn't feel confident that I could drive the bus, but I felt confident I could pass the test because I wasn't gonna make all the minors and I definitely wasn't gonna do a major. So bam, took the test. I believe I got into the teens in minors. I can't remember. I think I did. But hey, passed the test. I'm a bus driver. Accomplished the goal. Got my wish. Like, get everything I want. So then, yeah. So now, and I didn't even remember at the time. Remember, 35 years had gone past where I thought this driving and racing the bus slash coach or whatever was cool. So even after I got the job, well, I didn't get the job. I didn't get the job. I passed my test, but I never got the job. How come? The company I started that took me in and taught me how to drive the bus didn't actually teach me how to drive the bus. They employed or sent us to an outside agency that does that. Like they've got people in-house teach you how to drive the bus, but there was just too much of us because yeah, it's one of those very high turnover industries with bus drivers. So they're always taking people pretty much any day of the week, any day of the year. You can apply to a bus company and they'll say, yeah, come this day, blah, 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 because they know by the end of the week, by the end of the month, they're going to lose a certain amount of drivers and they need replacing. So they sent us outside to an outside company agency to teach us, a bunch of us, how to drive the bus and pass the test and stuff. So then after passing the test, they needed to do an evaluation, which is only right because I've got my license. And remember, I'm not telling them, but I just said to you, I didn't feel confident driving the bus. I just knew I was going to pass the test. Two different things. So rightfully so, they evaluate us. And the day I got my evaluation, yeah, yeah. And again, in fairness, like, why not? They took me on a route that took me through some S-bends. Like, this S-bend is mad tight, mad tight. And I pretty much just bounced off the curb. Just that side, that side, that side. I bounced off the curb, right? So, yeah, they said, sorry, but yeah, you're not quite good enough. You're not quite good enough. And apparently, I'd run out of time they could spend trying to get me ready to be a good driver. How they worked that one out, I don't know. Because I believe after my 6 hours of driving lessons, they then gave me a further 4 or 5. I don't know, people. As I'm saying, I'm trying to be as truthful and show you the picture as possible. So yeah, they then gave me some more hours. But yeah, when the evaluation came, I still didn't do it. Now, naturally, most people get a little bit upset. So did I. Not to where like I'm, just inwardly I was upset. Like you might see a little frown on my face and something. I couldn't see my own face. I didn't look in the mirror, but yeah. So I might have a frown, but I'm not crying. I'm not this. I'm not cussing the managers. I remember like yeah. So then it was crazy because they said officially I had to go up to South London. I live in North London, and it's quite a journey and such. And I'm like, damn, I got to go that far, pretty much just to get fired. Really was just to get fired. It all links in, people. Like, I know what it is, but it all links in. So I've got to go to South London to get fired, right? And I was like, all right, cool. It is what it is, right? So the day come to go up there, I go up there, and I believe what they wanted, or the opportunity was there, or even if it wasn't there, but I thought to myself, nah, you lot done me dirty. Because there'd been drivers that were learning that had failed the driving test, one specific one 6 times, others have failed it 3 times, and such and such and such. Others have had 60 hours. Remember, I had 6 originally, and then they gave me a few more. There's drivers that they kept that had 60 hours, 50 hours, 40 hours worth of driving, but still not ready. So how on earth are they going to get rid of me? Like, it's not fair, right? But it is. No, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. What it is, I shouldn't say it's fair. It's the path I needed to go to get what I wanted, or to be in a better situation. Like, in the moment, yeah, I'm thinking it's not fair and why is this happening and whatever, whatever. So my plan when I was going to go all this way just to get fired was to put it on them. How comes this one still there? How comes that one still there? And I didn't necessarily would have to name names either, and maybe they'd know or not know, but they would know that people got a lot more chances than I did. So I went up there, and when I got there, I think before I got there on the journey up there, whatever, whatever, like, you know what, it's not even worth it. Because, yeah, colleagues that I was training with, they was like, don't watch that, man. You got your bus license now. You'll get a job. Don't watch that. So, like, you know what? Yeah, cool. If these people want to treat me like this, then I shouldn't be working for them, right? See the signs. See the signs. This is why am I working for these people treat me like this? So I went up there, just sat quiet. I think the lady I saw a lady, and I think she did ask me if there's anything I wanted to say, if there's any reason I should be kept there. And I was like, nope, I'm good. I didn't have a full plan. It was really just, yeah, to try and get a job, because I'd worked for this. I a little bit upset as I still was, I had to appreciate I now have my driving license, my bus license. So when I came out the office, I'm taking the bus back home, I'm taking the bus to the train station, whatever. This is what I'm saying. This is how far I had to go to get fired. I have to take a bus and a train. Man, crazy. Like, you couldn't do it over the phone, send me an email aside. Like, damn, people, man. But yeah, so I come out the office, I go to the bus. So then my bus comes, and as I'm tapping in, I'm like, yo, drive. I broke it down to him real quick and said, drive, I just got fired and that. Yeah, because he was from a different company. I got my license. How do I holler at your peoples, man? I'm like, can I get on board with your people? What's your people saying? And he's like, yeah, check the website, check a website for this, that, give them a call, and you'll be good. And I'm saying to him, and I think I even broke down getting not the test, what did I say it was? Evaluation. And I said, yeah, I was just hitting the curb. And he's like, no, don't watch nothing, man. Just holler at them, call them. And I was like, cool, respect, right? Much love, much love. So I think it was on the journey, that same bus, I just bam, 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 quickly got the number, because he didn't have the number directly or whatever, but yeah, got the number, and same journey, called them. Or it might have been later in the day, but I didn't let it linger. I dealt with it quickly, and they're like, hey, coming Wednesday, whatever. Went there, they evaluated me, and then said, all right, bam, cool, you're not quite ready yet, but no problem, because we got guys that can teach you how to be ready. And they then gave me however many hours it took for me to be suitable, and I got the job. Yeah, so accomplished the goal, but I'm still not racing it. I did get to race later on, though. I did get to race the bus later on. So yeah, so I've become a bus driver, living this portion of my life, or another life as the bus driver. So from that company, so I got my license from one company, got fired. then went to another company, and it was mad crazy as well. So I got the job, and remember when I didn't get the first job, I'm a bit disappointed, innit? But again, let's not be overly disappointed, people. What they say, God closes the door, opens a window, whatever happens, it's like not everything seemingly bad is bad. And even if it is bad, it doesn't mean it's not for a good reason. It doesn't mean it's not for a good reason. So the company that didn't hire me got me my license, but then also the bonus of that was they said, yeah, where they paid for this outside agency, and even if they didn't pay an outside agency and they paid their own people, it still cost money for you to get your license. So they said if you left them within 1 year or something, you'd owe them £2,000 or whatever you'd owe them. But that was nil and void when I got fired, so I didn't have to give them any money. So when I got to the new company actually offered me £3 more than the original company was hiring me. So you can see where they're not getting a job there and and having to go to South London actually worked in my favor. So like I'm still in touch with my colleagues, right? And I called them and I said, yeah, bam, 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 I'm getting this much money. And they're like, damn, how you get how you get pay rise so quick? How you get pay rise so quick? But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I'm with that company for a while. It's the second company, but the first one that hired me. And yeah, although they thought I was ready and I felt I was ready, the inevitable happens. I still crashed the bus. But they're not overly concerned with that because as well now they've invested in me. They've invested in me like the however many extra hours they gave me. That's an investment, right? So generally most bus companies expect you to crash. It's not that every single driver crashes, but they expect you to crash in you. Like it's a big vehicle, people. It's a big vehicle. Like I promise you, if I put 1 million car drivers in a bus, probably 999,000 and however many are gonna crash it. It's not the same driving. And I remember one or two drivers saying to me, it's easier than driving a car. Truth, it is. But when you get there, you don't start there. When you get there, it's easier than driving a car. But yeah, you have to get there. So they give allowance for you crashing a few times. Thing was, I crashed more than a few times. Don't get it twisted, right? I wasn't going and crashing the bus every day and stuff. This stuff happens, man. Stuff happens, and yeah, I crashed a few times. But in fairness, I was also at that company for 2 years, and coming to the end of the 2 years or whatever, the amount of crashes I had tallied up, and they was like, nah, you're gonna have to go. So when they say that, I didn't have to go to South London to get fired or go to main office to get fired. It was simply one day, it was like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. So yeah, respect for that. And then yeah, so that initial, damn, I've lost my income again was there and whatever. And I think I went a few months without a job. I don't know if I'd applied straight away to another company because that's the other thing as well. Like I used to joke with my daughter, it's a job for life. Like once I got my bus license, it's a job for life. Like yeah, I might bounce around or an individual might bounce around from company to company, but you got a job for life, pretty much, unless you really, really mess it up. So yeah, I'd gone a little while without a job, and then before lockdown, I made an application to another company, and they was like, yeah, come through. But then there was like, I've got to bring the police check thing, whatever that is. You know what it is, and I know what it is. I just can't say it, remember it right now. Tip of my tongue, so to speak. But yeah, DBS or whatever. So I've got to bring that. And like, in all honesty, I didn't really have the money. But then the other companies didn't do that. They did the check for me, but they paid for it. Like, come on, man, you're the big boys. But anyway, like I was like, you know what? Let me scrape up the money some way, somehow. Borrow it, whatever, whatever. Not steal, but let me scrape up the money, right? So I got the money together. No, I tried to be smart. I tried to be smart. I had an old one. I had an old DBS, and it was an enhanced one, which has every single little thing you've ever done wrong in your life, criminally or whatever, whatever. Because I had to do that one to be a football coach. Another one of my life's periods, life things that I enjoyed doing. I loved that one. I loved that one so much. So I sent it in, and this nice lady, man, this nice lady, she was working not reception but admin or whatever. Yeah, so she's working admin, and she gets it, and then she calls me and she's like, "Yo, what's good? What's good?" Because my thing is 4 pages long in it. Like the police, yeah, they took advantage of me, and yeah, yeah. Not even saying it in no bad way. Like I never got abuse in the sense of physical abuse or verbally or whatever. It's just yeah, they was always stopping me, and yeah, yeah. But she's like, look, they don't need to see that. Yeah, so she works for the company, but she's a human being same way. So there's like, nah, 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 nah. You can't let the people them see that. I've seen it. I'm not sending that to them. Get the basic DBS, because the basic DBS won't really show anything. Like, yeah, I think she asked me how long last time, or she could see like when's the last time you've been in trouble. And she's like, ah, cool. Well, get the basic one, because the basic one won't show any of this. Your basic one will probably be clean. But then I got the money, got the basic one. All right, bam, I'm there. So then now I get the job. And did I crash any buses there? I didn't think I crashed any buses there, because, yeah, I'm 2 years into being a bus driver now. Like some people, like I said, 1 hour, one day, they get it. It took me a little bit longer, but everything is for a reason. Like the season, and if you say I'm not the greatest, then it's treason. That's the spies. That's the spies. But back to the story. I'm in the job, right? So I think in my second year now, and it was an automatic raise after a year, but in my second year, as I said, high turnover with these bus companies, right? There's high turnover. It's not this bus company compared to that one. It's all of them. There's high turnovers. Crashing buses is one of the reasons. Like they allow so many times for you to do that, but then if you keep on crashing the buses, rightfully you shouldn't be on the road driving people around, right? So that's could be a majority reason why a lot of people leave, but majority in this case doesn't mean 50%. Because if there's over 10 reasons or main reasons why people leave bus companies, then majority could be as little as 11, 12%. Really, if there's 10 different reasons, then the majority reason can only be 11%. So yeah, there's just different reasons why people leave. Hours we have to work and all the stuff. Sometimes how people talk to us. So there's different reasons why people leave. So yeah, so I wasn't crashing the buses now, but yeah, the company needed new drivers, and sometimes as well, you win. That's how they term it. You win a new route. So you've got the number one, number two, number three, number four bus at your garage, but then all of a sudden you've made a bid and you've got number five route as well. So now you definitely need more drivers, right? So they needed these drivers. I'm in my second year, and I remember it, man. It's mad crazy. Look, damn, half an hour, and I finally kind of almost got to the story, the point of the story, but all of it is relevant. All of it is relevant. It's what you take from it. It's what you take from it. So it was a summer day. It was a summer day. I can't tell you what day it was. My memory is not precise as that, but I remember it was a summer day. And a new colleague, like they started getting in agency drivers. They started getting in agency drivers, right? And I feel I'm a cool enough guy. Like if somebody's cool to me, I'm cool to them, right? So yeah, I'm friendly enough. Like, but yeah, as long as you're friendly and cool with me. So some of the agency drivers were there, and I'm speaking to one. There's this summer day we was on our break together, just so happened coincidentally, whatever. And he's like, yeah, like I'd heard drivers talking about it. Yeah, they're getting more money, they get more money, whatever. So where I'm reasoning with this guy now, I don't think I asked or whatever, or he was just happy to share. So whether I asked or he said, but it came out that he was getting about £5 or £6 more than I was. And we're doing the same job. Like we're doing the same job. Imagine that. Imagine that. So where I've been hearing it or whatever. So I might have thought it before, and this is the wish part. Like I can't fully explain the whole wish thing, but I think this is what it is, and the thought and the feelings and the emotions people are saying, because I watch different people on manifestation stuff and all the stuff, but I don't 100% get it. So if you do get it, like yeah, send me your thoughts on it, whatever. Comment section, it's there in it. But yeah, so I'm like, nah, I need to get me some of that. I need to get me some of that money, man. Like, why am I doing the same job and getting like £5, £6 more? Like, you lot work. Like, can you imagine what that is? That's like getting 2 or 3 extra days pay. So we're both working 5 days. I get paid for 5 days. His pay looks like he worked 8. Like, nah, be let me get some of that. Let me get some of that. So I'm there now, and I want that money, but how do I get that money? How do I get that money? Is to walk away from the job. What sane person really does that? I know people do. I'm just saying though, like how many people are really gonna do that? Walk away from the job, because every single bus driver out there now knows that agency will pay more money or another company might pay more money. Like with the agency, I can understand why a lot of people don't do it, because it's not fixed work and you're not guaranteed whatever. So a lot of drivers will stay with the company because yeah, they're guaranteed work for life unless they mess it up. But that's the agency. There's drivers that know that a different company doing the same job pays more money as well, and you're still going to be guaranteed with that company. But again, there's other issues like where the company is and travel time, whether you're in a car, train, whatever, how you have to travel and stuff. And yeah, so I wasn't brave enough. I wasn't brave enough to just walk away. My situation, yeah, was too tight financially to just walk away. But but the manifestation works, and this is why I'm making a video, because I'm saying, yeah, I didn't really see it until recently, and then this morning it just kind of, yeah, that's what happened. Because I wanted more money, but I wasn't willing to just walk away, I got in trouble, right? I got in trouble. So yeah, there was an accident on my bus. Some dude fell down on the bus. Bam, 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 bam. He was upstairs. And I remember where I was. I was Golders Green. Not that that part is relevant, but I was by a roundabout. And I was driving perfectly, pretty much. Pretty much. I was driving perfectly. And yeah, this dude fell down the stairs. So I think where he'd already fallen. I'm at the roundabout. Where he'd already fallen, had I not been at the roundabout, I would have stopped immediately. Well, I did stop actually. I did stop, but then I saw like he was on the floor. There's no blood, so I'm like, I'm not gonna be an idiot and just stop and block up the roundabout. Let me pull to the side safely. So I got past the roundabout, and it just so happened there's a bus stop less than 10 meters past the roundabout. Which yeah, I can't pull up at a better place than a bus stop. Pull up at the bus stop. Went to dude, he okay? And passengers were there as well, like trying to see if he's okay. Like, yeah, you need an ambulance. Somebody took out, well, probably many people took out the phone. Let me call an ambulance. And I'm like, yeah, you guys, it's cool. Like, there's a system in the bus that if I call the police or emergency services, ambulance in this case, whatever, they kind of mow your know your location precisely, and because it's all connected, they'll try and get there a little bit more quicker than if somebody just called on their phone and stuff. But dude said, nah, I'm good. I'm good. um, and, you know, we were all there, like, we're checking. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And it just so happened to be a stop because, yeah, that's what it was. He was coming down from upstairs to get off the next stop, which is where I now stopped. But yeah, he slipped, fell, whatever, I don't know. And I might have been there for every time. In my thing, I'm making sure this dude is cool, this dude is cool, and show the passengers. And he walked off the bus seemingly fine, a little bit dazed, but seemingly fine. So anyway, now, dude's cool, and I'm supposed to report it really, but I'm like, dude's cool, like, yeah, that was more paperwork for me and whatever. And yeah, I'm like, nah, I ain't really want to do that. So, whether a day later, 2 days later, he's called the company, make a complaint, and I don't know, he's got two heads now or half a head, like so much pain and all this stuff and stuff. So I'm thinking, and you know, speaking to colleagues and whatever, he's like, yeah, my guy went home and somebody said, what, you had an accident on a bus and that, yeah? Nah, you can get money for that, my bro. You telling them you're okay for? And even if you did, don't even watch nothing, because we can now say that, yeah, this has happened since the accident. So he called up the company, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, pay me, pay me. And yes, people do get paid for having accidents on buses, but then that's only where you can kind of see that the driver could have been better. So what happens in that scenario now, myself or the person, the driver involved in the incident, gets called to the manager's office. You get called to the manager's office, they want to hear your side of the story. But not just do they want to hear your side of the story, there's a lot of CCTV cameras on the buses in it. So they want to see what happened. They want to see what happened. Whether the guide remembered the time or not, it's kind of somewhat easily traceable. But what will happen is they've got hundreds of hours or whatever of footage. So they will trying to find a specific moment a thing happened. They're not going to just know by the second year, go to 2 p.m. Monday afternoon and you'll find what happened. So they might start from 1:30 or something, and they might even start from 12 o'clock, and they're trying to figure it out. 12 o'clock might be an exaggeration because they know what time you were supposed to be where. So he's going to say, yeah, I was at Golders Green bus stop, such and such. And there's like, what time did that bus get there? So yeah, they might start from, if it was a 2 o'clock incident or the 2 o'clock it happened, they might start from a 1:30 maybe, whatever. So they start scanning through the footage when I go to the manager's office. I think they gave me the good news first. They gave me the good news first. Good news, bad news, right? So there's like, yeah, we've checked the footage. Wasn't your fault. Wasn't your fault. Don't worry about that. Wasn't your fault. But then they said and showed me the monitors, what's going on there. And I couldn't really say anything. So basically, that was me gone again. I'm gone. So that's my third company now. But remember, and how my mentality works, job for life, right? So then I was like, you know what? Why am I going to go to another company again? This is now my opportunity. Let me go agency. Like that's where the money is, right? This is like, yeah, let me do the agency. So I signed up with an agency, and I think it was within a week. So yeah, like I the day I'd lost the job or something, I'd applied, or pretty soon after, next day, whatever. And then yeah, I think it was within a week that I got a new job, and I got where the other colleague that was doing agency work at that company and told me, yeah, he's getting about £5 or £6 more than me. I got £10 more. I could tell if I was like, all right, and then this is what it is, isn't it? This is what it is. So yeah, like it was mad crazy, but it was only of recent, and then this morning when I'm like, nah, what in the moment I conceived as bad was only something I needed to get me on the path to what I really wanted. To fulfill my wish, I had to lose the job because, yeah, probably I'd still be there now if it was down to me to quit. I say that, but then maybe, I might have saved up some money with the plan that, yeah, I'm gonna quit, but then I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get a new job. Because, yeah, there wasn't like the thing where you were guaranteed to get a job within a certain time. If you join the agency, just jobs pop up and such. Even though I say they're taking people every day, but there's, there's still something to it. So, yeah, like, again, as I said in my other videos, I get everything I want and we get everything we want. I got what I wanted. I got more money. In the end, and this picture there, and I don't mean to, whatever, badmouth people, but that was, so I got a job there and then I'd lost the job. Yeah, I'd lost the job with the agency that they sent me to a company. I lost that job because of timekeeping. Even though I did have one accident, but the accident wasn't my fault, whatever. And they kind of said that. They admitted the accident wasn't my fault, but what they said was, we expect better from you. I could have avoided the accident. Not that it was my fault, but I could have avoided it. But that wasn't even a thing. Like, they didn't overly care like that. But my timekeeping, or maybe my timekeeping plus that, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so we had to part ways. But yeah, I got another one. I can't remember the time period in between, but I got another one. So this was kind of the last one I got. But it's the last one I got, but it's the first one I did actually walk away from. Yes, I didn't get fired from this one. They just spoke some rubbish to me and whatever. Is there a point to this? Of course there is. Like, speaking to a couple of people, and only just a couple, like, if you can imagine, let's say a job or the lottery or whatever it is, but you're gonna get a big amount of money. You're getting 6 figures a year for a job, and the thing is, yeah, maybe it is only 2 people I've heard it from, but it's 2 people that made a lot of money that I then got involved with, and they both said the same thing. Like, people would literally give an arm and leg for this position, like to get this opportunity to make so much money. People would literally, nobody has, but yeah, it is. I see what it is, and there's truth to it. But yeah, who's gonna cut off their arm for 6 figures a year? But if you, yeah, I swear, if you ask everybody in the world, you're gonna find some takers. But the point was, yeah, it's a really good opportunity, and people would be willing to suffer initially to get it. And this is it. Like, how many bad things have happened to you? Like, I'm meaning to ask my son as I got my epiphany this morning. So I'm going to ask my son. I've asked him a similar-ish question. Like, how many times has something bad happened to you and you're there and a little bit upset and such and such and such? And, but then it turns into a better opportunity for you. It just turns into a better opportunity for you. Like, again, comment section, hit me up. Like, I doubt, no, some of you do. Some of you will watch this for that long. So thank you. Let me say that. And yeah, man, if you can, like, it's not for me to tell people what to do in it. But it doesn't cost you nothing hitting the subscribe. And if you're watching so many things on YouTube, you must appreciate what it does for a person, for the channel. So yeah, if you can do it, do it. If you can't do it, love same way. Well, people, thank you. And I believe I'm out. But look, check this, just check your history. You're not going to remember every single details of your life. But check that moment where something supposedly bad happened to you. and then something good happened, however later after that fact, and see the link between the two. Like, would you have got that something better had that not something bad happened? Where I'm watching my manifestation stuff and whatever. So like I'm talking about a job and a job opportunity, but it's the same with relationships, like your partner leaves you either or, the girl leaves you, the guy leaves you, or the into same sex, the person leaves you. And you're just so heartbroken. But somewhere down the line, you find this other person. And this other person is just so way more amazing than the person you thought you couldn't live without. Now, had you still been with the person you thought you couldn't live without, you wouldn't be with the new person, would you? So, come on. So yeah, maybe the next time we face something we can see, we think is, oh, it's so bad and why is life so unfair? Maybe life is just trying to help you, eh? Have a good one, people.